Yeah, kid. Look like all systems is go. All right, let's get it. Yes. Yes, 2 times. I know the vibes. She like,
ooh la la, ah oui oui. Ooh la la, ah oui oui. Ooh la la, ah oui oui. Ooh la la, ah oui oui.
Tuesday.
Ooh la la, ah oui oui.
Wednesday.
Ooh la la, ah oui oui. Ooh la la, ah oui oui. Ooh la la la.
Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop up out the bed like where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. Popovich. Popovich TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up and here. One more again. So if it's your first time, then the question is, where you been? Because over here on this side, we like to deal with sports, hip-hop, entertainment, interviews sometimes. Because people do be acting flaky. Popovisms 101, and of course, motivation. So before you run off the page, Chris Brown to the left, Usher to the right, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. You get alerted when I upload the videos, and if it's not your first time and you've been rocking with the channel, then good looking. But you know how I do. You know how I plainly start the show. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. And we is in the end game, people. We in the end game. Because it's Tuesday. Transformation Tuesday. That means what you working on, how are you working it, and is it working for you? Us in the real life, us in the real world, we are nosy and we want to know all the secrets. What's your sauce? What's your go-to? What you got cooking up in the pot that you're working on, and is it working for you? All of us want to know in the real life. Star, what up? But we also in the end game because it was another catastrophic, worldly event out there in Colombia. And they said the earthquake was something like 7.6, 7.5, 7.4, something like that. Some of the images that I've seen online is really heartbreaking. Anytime you see the unthinkable and catastrophic events take place before your eyes, even though it may just be scrolling up and down and not actual there, you still say, damn it, man, all praise is due to the Most High. Not that life was lost, and I think the death toll is somewhere around like 120, 25, creeping up, you know what I mean? Condolences to those, people who lost their lives. Rest in peace to those who lost their lives, and condolences to their families who who may still be alive. The recovery searches is still underway. Just seen a video on the news, not online, but on the news, where they lifting up all of the debris and all that. Was a man under there shielding the baby, and when I say baby, I mean like newborn damn near baby, maybe like 2 months. The baby is so small anyway, you never can really tell like the ages, but still alive, all praises due. And it's just heart-wrenching, right? And then you see here in America, people are donating and sending off packages and stuff like that. If you are gonna do it, and I think you should, You know, it's better to give than to receive. A lot of times you get your blessings. Just make sure you give into the right people. You know, there's always somebody looking to get over on a sucker or somebody with a good heart and good intentions. That's just the reality. You can dread it, you can run from it, but destiny still arrives. There's somebody looking, rubbing their hand like Birdman, like, motherfuckers is pulling at the heart chords, pulling at the emotional strings. You a do-gooder. Too bad you couldn't do good at marriage. And you want to give, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But make sure you give into the right organization, the right people, so that the money can actually get to the people that it needs to get to. But you never know how you're going to go. I often, I plainly, say, do you ever think about when you out of here? Your record deal, your video, out of here. Your Mercedes Benz and your Range Rover, out of here. I plainly say that. Plainly because, one, you should think about it. I know a lot of people don't think about it. And not thinking about it, you don't realize that every time you walk out of your crib, it's no guarantee that you're coming back. For some of us that's super sensitive, super hyper conscious, you're ultra conscious, then you do think about it. But for the average, everyday Joe and Jane, you ain't thinking about that shit. Even when you see death and mass destruction, like in Colombia, and you see the buildings shaking, fall to the ground, crumbling. You know what I mean? I think Venezuela was the other place, and I think the death toll was crazy over there, right? Buildings just falling, people blaming the architects, and you can blame the architects all you want. Could it be possibly some fault? Yes. Where it don't matter is once the Most High say kum fire kum, be and it is. That's what that translates to. Kum fire kum, be and it is. Then it is. I don't care how fortified your structure is. You can have Wolverine. You could be, your buildings could be made of antimonium. Antimonium, or however you say it, right? You can have that Wakanda forever. You know what I'm saying? Shield. And when the Most High say, get over here, you're done. So that's why the plainly part of, do you ever think about when you out of here? Your record deal, your video, out of here. That Mercedes Benz and Range Rover, you're out of here. And dealing with the same situation, right? Just imagine this. I'm gonna use America. This is America. Don't get you slipping. I'm gonna use America for going over there. But the video I seen of somebody in the hospital getting surgery, right? It could have been somebody from Colombia getting the surgery, and I'm just making this up in my mind. But I want to paint the wildness of it. I want to get that wow factor. Just imagine you went over there on vacation or for cosmetic, surgery. Get some shit done. You want to get your pecs right. Instead of going to the gym, you want to get your pecs right. So you go over there to get an implant, or, you go over there to get your teeth fixed, or, ladies, you go get the BBL, the Brazilian, or whatever it is, right? You on the table, you anesthetized up, right? So you can't feel a thing. Fortunately for you, in the video that I seen, the whole fucking building shakes, the hospital. The doctors is rocking and rolling with it. They leaning and rocking with it. And you leaning and rocking with it too. Could have had a knife going precision on you. Could have been extracting something from you. And I don't know if the person is good or not good, because the video I seen, it was on TikTok, I believe. Keisha was showing me some shit on TikTok. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy the way the building was shaking. And, the table was rolling now. They got a hole, shit is falling from the sky. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. And, what we take from this before we move on is be appreciative of your life. I can't stress that enough. You know what I'm saying? I can't stress that enough. You never know when you're going to go. None of us do. We never know how we're going to go. It could be in an earthquake in another country, and you was just going to get your teeth fixed. And now you're dead. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. Love your loved ones. Tell them that you love them. Appreciate your life. Try to live to the fullest. And give God the glory, because you never know when your soul will be snatched from you. Every time you go to sleep, sleep is the cousin of death. Your soul is snatched from you. You may not realize that or know that, and then it's put back in you when you wake up. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought that was crazy. I mean, we want them people over there to get all the help that they can get. We want, it to get to the right place. So if you are feeling generous and you want to do your, Samaritan duties, then you should do it. I'm with you. Let's make sure it gets to the right people. Let's talk about this, though. Let's talk about the investment convention that Earn Your Leisure was out there in the ATL, and I told you that's one of my favorite places to visit. And it's one of the places that I, have been to the most out of my travels. For, I don't know why I can't, there's no real rhyme or reason. I just ended up there a lot of times, more than other places. So I'm very familiar with ATL, right? And it's a beautiful city. I love the women out there. The food is good. The southern hospitality is good. And they got a lot of fuckery and buffoonery too, just like New York. So maybe that's why I like it, right? Anyway, they put on like they put on for their city. Shout out to Jeezy. And I didn't go, obviously not, I wasn't in Atlanta around this time. But the reviews is coming out. So it's starting to spin in the clip, if you will, right? And hearing there was a lot of entertainment, a lot of word salad, a lot of, this doesn't seem right, right? And I can't say yay or nay that is some scamation going on, right? But anytime you offering up the dream to become financially stable, financial freedom, right? Like Jay-Z said, financial freedom, my only hope. Fuck living rich and dying broke. Those are Jews. All you had to do was buy the album to hear that. Or you could have just streamed it, right? Either way, you paid something. That's solid advice. Financial freedom is my only hope, or our only hope for some of us, right? And fuck living rich and dying broke. Those is profound statements, because a lot of us do live rich but die broke. Even the people that celebrities and that has made it in our eyes to the other side being the financial freedom side. You see, they got access, they live that lifestyle, they travel in them circles, some of them do strange things for change and all that. Nonetheless, they made it to that side, right? They're not like us, the 85%, the 80%, the 70%, the 90%. These are the 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 o'clock rock. Like, they in that percent. So we look to them, oh, nah, how they die broke, how they didn't die with their masters, or how somebody else got their estate. And that's like the extreme cases. But basically, Hov was like, fuck looking rich and living rich, or giving the appearance of that, but then dying broke. No life insurance, no estate, no will, and, nobody to look over, your accumulations and your assets so that they can be divvied up, to the proper channels, right? And so Earn Your Leisure, I watch their content, and I'm familiar with them. Sometimes they drift off into, the low-hanging fruit type of shit like most podcasters. After a while, how much finances can you talk, right? But they have had some shady guests on a show. Him 500, what's the other dude? Jay Morrison. Couple of other people that I can't even think of their names, right? And I say that to say it's like you talking finances, but you got shady characters up here pushing your credit, invest in me, pay for my course, woo, and it's like the pastors of the church, right, and the congregation, and it's just like hope sellers, not dope sellers, hope sellers, because somebody's always selling, somebody's always buying. It's a supply and demand and supply, right? And Big said being broke at 30 get a nigga the chills. So just imagine 35, 38, 40, 42. And you can believe this or not believe it, but you was who you was before you got here. That's a whole reference, but he's absolutely true. That statement is absolutely true. Here's why. At least that's my belief. This is why it's true. When you born and you in the womb, well, when you conceived and you in the womb, think about like 3 months or 5 months, the angels come to you, right? And they write down who you're going to be in this life, how much wealth you're going to accumulate, what age you're going to die, how you're going to die, trials and tribulations and all that. Everything is preordained. Now, for some now, you're getting too religious on me, you're pushing your beliefs on me. That's cool, because I'm not really here to do that. Just giving you another way to look at things. We got free will. So even though stuff is already written, you can still change courses. And for instance, say you were supposed to be rich, right? But you don't do shit to get rich. You don't never try to do anything to get rich, financially set. So shit is really written that you ain't getting rich. And say you it's written for you not to accumulate a lot of wealth. That's not your journey in this life, right? But you're doing everything that you can to try to get rich. It's probably still not going to happen for you because it's not written for you to happen. But you say, so it's no matter what I do because it's already preordained. The thing is that you don't know what's preordained and what's not. That's why you have free will and you have to act. You still got to get up, get out, and get something. You just don't know what the Most High got in store for you because you're not the Most High. You're not on that level. So your comprehension, and your brain capacity can't adapt to that. You can't even think that far, right? But some of us ain't going to be rich. So you could go to all the seminars and you could buy all of the courses. You could do all that shit. And there's somebody that don't do none of that. Hit the lotto, they be 1 in a million, like your love is 1 in a million. How you pull off that? Pull the rabbit out your ass and now you done came up, or you got hit by a vehicle. It paralyzed you, but you get your functions back. But the money still comes, so now you up. Or you hit a lick, you hit a 10 pick for $50, some wild shit like that, and you become financially stable like that. You know what I'm saying? The Kevin Hart and Soul Plane. You want a plane and you have a traumatic, situation happen, and now you got to get paid for that, right? And somebody else is studying. They read a Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I'm not saying don't do none of these things. I've read that book and a few other books, right? Multiple streams of income, etc. But back to the conference. There was a lot of dancing, a lot of shucking and jiving. Seen Magic dropped in, Portia from the Housewives. She did, a couple of, videos like I'm gonna be there and woo woo, and a lot of dancing and singing, and not really a lot of dissemination of the information. Not a lot of solid, concrete information. So you paid your $200 to get in, and all you got is some dances and some jokes, and just an environment that looks like it's networking and shit going on. And it probably wants some networking going on. But it ain't no set forum class where it's like you really getting the meat and potatoes. It's an auditorium full. And I've been in a lot of conferences from Prime America and, financial literacy, world ventures. What else I did? I did a few, try to dibble and dabble that entrepreneurial spirit, you know what I'm saying? And so I sat in a lot of these conventions and paid to invest. I done brought CDs and, motivational speeches from certain people because you get motivated, you get inspired, you believe in the dream. And another quote from the good book is, some people's speeches in this life will dazzle you. It'll leave you in awe. You know what I mean? Have you going in your pocket, giving up your money, to the pastor and to whoever else, because they done fed you and they got you emotional. You riled up. Bill O'Reilly, you only riling me up to get your money, to pull out the emotional strings, but you don't really get no value for your buck. And that's what they were saying out there. Lastly, JT pocket watching with JT, he kind of already exposed these guys in a way, you know what I mean? Some of their methods and dealings, not saying that they was just scamming and it was a scammeration or they was scamming you, but the guests they had on, like I said, and just certain little things. It ain't no easy route. The easy route, or the lucky route, if you will, is hitting the lotto. And those odds is so tremendously not in your favor, that's why it's like, you know what I'm saying? But you could come up that way, but what's the chances of that? It ain't no easy format to getting wealthy, to learning about money, how money works, etc., investing. You see people be having their training courses and shit like that. Be careful of who you giving your hard-earned money to, because that's your money, son. For some internet guru. You know what I'm saying? Not saying don't try, but I'm also saying just be mindful. Because we living in a day and age where, you looking at a screen, you feeling, like this person is talking to you and they're going to show you the way, how to do Amazon. And, they got, these platforms and channels where they funnel money and, download the ebook and all that. And this is how you do it. And you really just making them wealthy. They figured out a way to get the populace to, fund what they do. And if you want to get financially straight too, then maybe you'll have to figure out a way similar to that. But, be mindful, folks. Ain't no genies in the bottle. Ain't no get rich way. Just like it ain't no easy way to get healthy, to stay fit. It ain't no easy way to 52 block all the fuckery and the bullshit that, that's here on planet Earth for us to deal with. You gotta be vigorous. Let's talk about let's talk about this Blueface shit. He's going viral for throwing out the black girls, right? Or the one black girl. Let me see if I can pull up the clip. Looking at some of the images as I'm looking for the topic of that Columbia shit is wild. Here it go right here.
Pull over and kick this bitch out again.
Go ahead.
I can't argue with stupidity. Little stupid ass out. Look how fast her dumb ass is to get out where she don't know shit. No, cause your friend's stupid. Y'all so smart, but y'all friend an idiot. Look at her. Bro, I don't give a bro, nothing to listen to. Let her. She serves no purpose. What the fuck? Take it so long. What the fuck you waiting for? Go ahead. Come on. Hurry up. Let's go. Chop chop. No, we don't give a fuck. Y'all come. This bitch don't know what color is. Racist. The fuck? No. What do you need? What do you need? At the end of the day, y'all all grown. So when a motherfucker tell you to go, your dumbass friend said it's fine. Stay with her. The fuck? Bitch don't know nothing about 21-year-old bitch in the car just popping it. I just looked at the definition of colorist and didn't say none of that shit. You've been on Instagram too long. You've been in them comments. People say, oh, it's colorist. Y'all don't even know what colorist means.
Yeah.
That bitch said black people can't be racist.
We're all human.
What?
How come, bitch?
Because we were oppressed. Bitch, you ain't Martin Luther King. The fuck, bitch? Get your stupid ass out.
You ain't with that.
She think because she black as fuck, she's just superior.
That was wild, kicking him out on the highway. I think he could have definitely handled that better. I wish he didn't do that.
We're not.
My home girl party.
This is how it started, though.
He said black people can't be racist. I love your skin. You look so nice that dark. Child, this is a good dark skin right there. What you mean? Are you dark skinned?
He said you bad.
Yeah. What does good mean?
What
does good mean? Yeah, what does good mean?
She's from New York, that's what.
What does good mean to me? Good means like A's and B's, like you get good grades.
Yeah, I get good grades.
Okay. So good and dark skin, what does that mean to you?
I get good grades, it's dark skin.
There you go.
Oh, period. Thank you.
1 + 1 = 2.
Nice to meet you.
So originally, I guess the girl from New York or New Jersey or somewhere here on the East. When the East is in the house, oh my God. And I guess they made their way out there. I don't know where Blueface is at, Houston, Atlanta. I don't know where that nigga is from. Because I don't really follow his shit. I know his moms be online acting crazy. I know he was with Krishan and all that type of shit. Because they used to spin in the clip, as I like to say, for a lot of dumb shit. I also know he went to prison and, he's out now. But I don't really care too much for him or the antics. But nonetheless, he's a trending topic. He's a lightning rod figure that gets the people going. Boom, 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 boom. Right? So I guess initially, as I showed the clip, Meta was like a good dark skin, kind of threw her back a little bit, and it throws me back, as opposed to saying, you beautiful. You know what I mean? You're a beautiful dark skinned woman, or you're a beautiful, colored girl, or some shit like that, and that might be off the cuff, right? Before I begin, I'll say I'll speak about my divorce and shit, or speak about that I was married and I filed for divorce, etc. But my ex is dark skin complexion, like the sister, or a little lighter than her, but still dark skin complexion. And I'm only bringing this up to say, a lot of times men don't know, doesn't excuse anything, but it's men don't know, right? And I think I had commented one time not to her, but or maybe I did say it to her. It was a while ago, on some dark skin, you look good for a dark skin girl, right? And although you're not trying to be disrespectful or offensive, you are. And she's very educated, super educated, smart, black sister, powerful, strong sister, right? So she enlightened me, she educated me, right? And from then I never use those terminologies again, because now I'm aware. I'm like, oh well, even though I didn't mean nothing by it, I'm not gonna still use it if I know that you have a problem with it. Why would I use it? Especially if I'm trying to get some buns. Like, why would I put my foot in my mouth before I put my like somewhere else? You know what I mean? Right. And so now back to this. That's why she like, well, what you mean good dark skin? And he like, well, what's a good dark skin? Could be the country, could be communication barrier, but obviously the conversation kept going. So we're now they in the car now, they're on the highway, they talking about colorism, they talking about racism, they talking about being prejudiced and things of that nature. And although the conversation was loud and stuff like that, as she got out and he got back in the car, you hear him say that, she's 21. I don't know how old he is. I guess he maybe close to 30. You know what I mean? I guess. Let's see how old Blueface is, just for the sake of, just so I can get a grasp on it. How old is Blueface? Say how old his 3-year-old daughter is, but it don't say how old it is. It's not saying his age. It don't matter. I'm assuming he older than her, cause he like, you 21-year-old, you don't know shit, you online, you looking at shit, and a lot of people, to his credit, before we, I give my thoughts on who's right, who's wrong. I think they both had points, right? His point, I think a lot of people do just repeat or regurgitate what they see online. No real studying on their own, no real deep dive into it, no real first-hand knowledge of it, even though you hear her in the clip say, I don't have to know what it is. I experienced it, or I'm living through it, right? As far as colorism. And I'm sure she probably has experienced some form of colorism, even though I think she's a gorgeous sister, right? Nice complexion, her complexion is fire. You know what I mean? And black of the berry, sweet of the juice, right? In today's time, and for quite some years now, but you're black. Some of us, right, believe that light skin is superior, right? Then you get into the Willie Lynch files and documents and how they put the light skin against the dark skin, the old against the young, and that type of shit. The man and the woman, all to gain control and dominate us, right? Even to this day, some of those, old tactics and methods are still in play. And I won't act like I'm an aficionado or I'm mad educated. I be playing, but I'm not. I got a GED. I can count 1, 2, 3, and I'll leave it at that. But I'm far from unintelligent. You know what I mean? I got common sense, and I am intelligent. And right is right, wrong is wrong, and I'll just leave it at that. Still can match which with the best of them. But now with that being said, right? You hear Jadakiss like, I grew up very athletic, hard-headed, thought I knew everything, wanted to do everything. He said some shit after that, it was light-skinned girls and Nikes, right? Junior high school was Ices. After that, it was light-skinned girl and Nikes. You hear Lil Wayne, I don't want the darkies, or even Chris Brown, right? They want the light-skinned women. And then, light-skinned women feed into the bullshit, and so therefore, and women could be brutal and vicious. Your face card ain't good, or you dark skinned. So, again, back to that conversation with my ex, she was saying, dark skinned women, not all, because she was dark skinned as well, or was considered dark skinned. But they have self-esteem issues when it comes to that, because men's preference, or what seems to be the overall consensus, is that light skin is superior, etc. When you see shit like that happen where you in the club or trying to get in the club and they don't let you in because of your complexion, but they let the light-skinned girls in, then you hear light-skinned girls come out and pretty privilege, and it's just a melting pot of all this bullshit, right? That's not really factual, but still based in experiences, some grouply shit and then some anecdotal, right? The racist part, right? And she was like, black folks can't be racist. Now, I heard this argument before, and I indulged in it as well. I disagree with that. I disagree, right? I don't disagree in systemic racism. That's a thing. And it seems like we don't have enough power to be racist in a systemic way, right? But just racist as far as itself, race, anybody could be racist. Blacks is not excluded from that. And here goes some definitions. So I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere, because I know that's where he was going when he like, Let's look at the definition. She ain't answer none of that. Racism isn't only white people are capable of, because it's judging, degrading, excluding, or mistreating people because of race. And anyone can do that. Mexicans, Chinese, whites, Colombians, Arabs, right? The confusion comes from people using two different definitions. Individual racism, racial prejudice or discrimination by a person. Under this definition, anybody, including black people, can be racist. Systemic racism, that's why I started with that. Racial prejudice reinforced by institutions and unequal power. In the U.S., this has historically and disproportionately benefited white people and harmed black people in the U.S., right? So black people can hold racist beliefs or mistreat someone based on race, while systemic racism can still operate unevenly across groups. Both facts can still be true simultaneously. So I just wanted to point that out. Another reason why, even without all of the definitions, right, is we're all human. And I'm not of the Nation of Islam, and I'm not of the 5% nation, even though I did study, you know, at one point in time, a little bit of both, right, just for my understanding and my journey of, you know, higher enlightenment, right? Malcolm X, the white man is the devil. Farrakhan and them, and the black man is God, right? For those that believe that, I ain't going, this is not the time and place to go back and forth with you on that. I believe that God, the Most High, created all men, all colors and all races. So, we all are capable of the same shit. It's not like one is incapable of something that all other humans are capable of. That's my logic and where that comes in at. I get it for those that want to play the victim role all the time and they want to bring it to systemic. Well, black people don't control nothing, so we can't really dominate our force and all that. We can't, we can't impose our will to hurt another group of people. Okay, I give you that. I mean, because definitely here in America, it hasn't been, it hasn't been where we the dominant factor. When we own and shit, when we dominating, we imposing our will and the negative to hurt other races. So I give you that. But that don't mean you can't still be racist. If you hate somebody else just for the sake of their color and who they are, then that's racist. You're being a racist. You're racist. Now, it's different when you say white cops is in black neighborhoods racially profiling blacks. Right? Now, if it was black folks in an all-white neighborhood and you hated whites just because of what they done to us, you could say, they did some foul shit to us, which they did, so I have a right to feel this way. You can have a right to feel any way you want to feel anyway because you're human. If you want to hold that down and that's how you want to move and go through life, then that's on you. I'm not here to try to change that on you. I'm just saying we're all human. We all children of God. You may not believe that. That's fine. Again, I'm not going to argue that with you. But blacks can be racist. And you see it all the time, sometimes in the comments, when it's, other ethnicity. You know what I mean? It ain't just, exclusive to white folks. So, but throwing it out and all that on the highway, think that's a bit much. Think that's foul. As a man, and make you look bad, because it's like, bro, just get them safe to the next destination. I obviously I don't think anything bad happened to them, but let's say the worst case scenario happened and something happened to them. You on video kicking them out your whip in an aggressive manner. Hurry up, get the fuck out. You grown. Woo woo woo. Although a small part of me want to say he probably thought about it, and that's why he said, you so smart, but you so quick to jump out in a place you don't even know where you at. maybe her comeback could have been, well, you're right. Now let me use my self-awareness. Like, one, I don't know where I'm at. When you're on the highway, shit could get dangerous for us real quick. And then you know the narrative, black men don't protect black women, or men don't protect women, but I'm going to keep it on black. Oh, but you're black because I'm black. Maybe she could have said, this ain't the right way. I'm in my feelings, and this nigga is all the way wrong as far as racism and colorism and all that type of shit. But I don't want to get kicked out on the side of the road. And my friends, quote unquote friends, because I think 2 of them stayed in the car. How you let this nigga kick your friend out that you came with? Crazy. But you stay in the car, right? Maybe she should have said, nah, you're right. I don't know where I'm going. And matter of fact, my bad. I apologize. You right. I'm wrong. Swallow your pride. Put it in your pocket. It ain't going to kill you. Get to wherever y'all going. Then get out and be like, you bitch ass nigga. Colorism is this and woo, and black people, we can't be racist because of suppression, systemic racism and all that. Like, then you could have went Sister Soldier on them. But on the side of the road, someplace you don't know where, you got to be more self-aware. I'm not blaming her because he threw her out. But I'm saying in that little instance, and I don't know what's in his head, but I watched the video a few times just because I knew I was going to do a topic on it in a reaction. I'm like, he probably felt this was a bad look for him, and that's why he said, well, if you so smart, what you getting out all fast for? Because I guess it was like, well, you can get the fuck out. And it was like, all right, nigga, then I'm getting out. It's like, hold on, I don't know where I'm at. I'm a lady, because you such a fucking lady. Be a little more strategic. Then bomb first. You know what I mean? Like, don't cut your nose to spite your face and then be on the side of the road, no reception, got to call an Uber or whatever. You may not have the money, and you know, obviously, I don't have no daughters, but I got 2 sons. But I do got little nieces and nephews that I love dearly, right? And I would hate for this to happen to them. But I always say, don't let your pretty privilege, catch you, with your skirt up. You know what I mean? Or your pants down, right? In a situation like this, meaning don't have no money. Don't, always have a portable chart. Like when you going out with guys or, you living that life and you mingling and jingling, baby. Go ahead, baby. Be smart. Don't just be pretty privileged like it can't happen to you because you pretty. Because you're pretty. There's thousands and millions of shit. Leave it to fucking every woman online. They all dimes and look like Beyonce and Kelly Rowland. So they all fucking got pretty privilege. But you don't be the one to be with dudes and, you going on a ride with them, then all of a sudden you don't want to put out, because they brought you a steak dinner and woo, and now you on the side of the road and, your circumstances go from looking pretty to real ugly real quick, and now you're in a dangerous situation because it could cost you your life. So, I always tell my little cousins, my little nieces, don't never get caught out there like that. If you don't got it, don't go. Even if he's expecting to pay. You know what I mean? In the day and time of, soft girl era and drizzle and sprinkle and 50-50, and it's a war going on outside. No man is safe from with all these gender wars. Ultimately, I'm old school. I mean, I'm old now, right? I'm the unk. So I believe in the man going to pay, not for everything. You know what I mean? Especially if you keep going out and, it ain't working out in your favor. But, for ladies, if you are expecting a man to pay, that's fine. He probably should, especially if he got it. But still have your own money just in case, so you don't get caught out there. What else is trending? We've been on here for 44 minutes. A couple more quick topics and then we out of here. Let's talk about this shit real quick, and then I'll go into the other story. I think they could piggyback off each other. So first, let me find the clip first. I think it's not a long ass clip, but it's long enough.
I'm never getting down with any of you scary bitch ass niggas. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to agree with you. The young men that are outside today are nowhere near as dangerous as the young men 30 years ago. It's just not happening. The numbers don't lie. The crime statistics tell you everything. Every major city Violence has gone down. It has plummeted. It has reached 50-year lows. These young men are not as dangerous. These young men are constantly in your face on the internet pretending to be dangerous because those are the examples of their fathers and uncles before them. And those are the examples of the diet of America. America has chosen to feed your young men a diet of gangster, gang member, street nigga activity as an example of what it means to be a black man.
Okay.
That's the diet that they on. That is not who they are. You change the diet, you change the child.
I agree with that.
See, if you start looking at these things as a diet, then we understand what happens when you change your diet. You change your body, you change your mind, you change your quality of life. If you engage with these young men as they are today, these are some of the nicest, actually anxious, actually just shy kids hiding behind masks. Listen, when the mask becomes a fashion statement, it ain't about robbery no more.
I agree with that.
It's about hiding. It's about a fear of being seen.
I agree with that.
It's about a fear of being inadequate. I've been around these young men. They're not dangerous. They got the same adolescent attitudes as their white counterparts, as their Hispanic, as their Asian counterparts. They have teenage angst like everybody else. But because you denied them of humanity, you donated to them being gangster and they don't want to listen and they're difficult to deal with. And you're talking about your fucking babies, nigga. You're talking about your future. I don't want to hear no community talk. I don't want to hear no what we got to do in the black community. I don't want to hear no gender war. I don't want to hear nothing about black people if you scared of the youth.
I agree with that. He on the roll.
Because you don't truly, if you're scared of the youth, you truly don't see a future in the community.
I agree.
Period, point blank. So I understand 20 years ago, 25, 30, 40 years ago, if you want to go get your degree and get the fuck away from the hood, get it, understood. Now we ain't there no more. We have to return our resources. All the projects is gone. So wherever there is predominantly black neighborhood, the only thing that they are struck with is just pure poverty and a lack of resources, a lack of community centers, a lack of a city budget that will pour into their education, and a lack of people who represent a possibility of what they could be.
Oh, so homie was cooking. I ran into a few of his clips, and for the most part, he doesn't always have the political correctness answers. So this his channel was on. Let me just go to his channel real quick.
Never
got 500,000 Grits and Eggs podcast. I'm gonna probably have to check them out on YouTube to see check him out.
getting down with it.
To see the whole 4 episodes, but I only see clips that's online. You know, we consume things differently nowadays, even though I do sit on YouTube and watch whole clips when I got time. Anyway, to what he's saying, right? I say, I was here 20 years ago. I was here 30 years ago. I'm in my late 40s. I think I look pretty damn decent, you know what I'm saying? 5 miles today, 5 miles yesterday. I ain't do that back to back in a long time. I'm trying to come down. I want to get under 190, you know what I mean? Currently sitting over 190, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I was around. I've been to prison 3 times, not bragging about anything. I'm just prefacing some of my thoughts for anybody that's watching. We live on YouTube and we live on Instagram, and I got my own channel over here. So if you see me looking in a circle, I'm not distracted. I'm just multitasking. Been to prison 3 times, 2 for robbery, 1 for hustling, you know what I'm saying? Seen the inception of the Bloods and the Crips, and we talked about this a multiple of times on this channel right here. Inside prison, then coming home and watching it out here, right? Come from the era of, you know, not even being around, to individuals or crews having blocks. And I'm from 142nd, or I grew up on 142nd in Harlem. The lynch mob era, you know, Lou Sims, Farris, you know, Leon, who just passed, you know, that type of era, you know, the best style that Dame talk about, you know, shit like that, right? 40 Wolves on 40th, and the list goes on, the NFL, niggas for life and all that, right? Big L Block, etc., Cam Block, 40th, and the list goes on and on. I mean, 127th, my Unk Block and all that. And I just pointing that out to say, as a kid coming up, yes, it was hella violence, to even where we got into violence as young, right? And I don't want to sit on the high horse and absolutely say, hell yeah, it was more dangerous back then, right? But I'll say, yeah, two things can be true at the same time, simultaneously, right? And we was the crack era. It's no crack now, right? It's Molly, it's fentanyl now, but I don't think that's like everybody going crazy or fentanyl. Molly, ecstasy pills, sprayed weed, what else these kids, drinking syrup and all that. And that's not even, at least to my knowledge, hitting hard like the crack era. It'll never be an era where when you're going outside the school, just slow up a little bit and paint the picture for somebody that may not be of my era or you my peer, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. The era of hundreds of people standing outside your building, and my building was a 24 operating crack building, getting money. The niggas that was running the building was getting money. 24 hours. So that means going to school is people in your building, coming from school is people in your building. When it ain't no school, it's people in your building. The next building is people in front of that, like the lines is there. People is coming to get they drugs, right? So there's that. It's what crack made people do. Suck a dick, sell a ass, steal a mother's TV. Crime in general was up because of these things going on. But when you say, he said the numbers is down. Now add to that, not only that I've been to prison 3 times, I've seen the inception of the Bloods and the Crips and the penal system, then came home in 04 after 10 years, seeing it out here, know people that's, involved, and got friends and families that's in that shit. But now, fast forward all these years later, I'm a cure violence worker. I work under the cure of violence umbrella. So just like him, I'm working with kids all the time, boys and girls. I think the biggest difference, even though he said the numbers don't lie, I don't think it was that many kids as it is now being killed back in the days. One, kids, you couldn't even be outside. Now, granted, I was outside at 16. I'm a little different than other people my age, so I'm not the only one. But not like now. Kids is outside crazy. They outside because they got a reason to be outside. They ganged up. They safe outside. They with their people. We can't just be standing around on the stoop and outside at certain ages because the drug dealers and the people who controlled the block, they wasn't having that. It was a hierarchy. You just couldn't just come out, open up, get a chair, get a crate, just chill outside. What y'all doing over here? Let me call your moms. Go knock on your door. Like, I'm just talking about my block too. I'm not saying that it's only strictly for my block. Obviously, you got other blocks in Harlem, Brooklyn, Bronx, DC. Everybody moved different in their cities. Baltimore, on the East Coast, New Jersey. But just trying to paint a picture of on my block, like Scarface on my block. We couldn't just do shit like that. We couldn't just create mischief, throw rocks out the window, or do certain things because the people that had the block wasn't having that. You fucking up the business. You fucking up the money. Cops, we don't want cops coming over here. We don't want everybody just chaos and monarchy and anybody doing what they want. Bring it back to here. Because these kids is in these gangs at 13, 14, 15, 11, 10, 9. Let's keep it a buck. Again, I'm a cure violence worker, so I'm working with them. Not 9 years old because my program, we only take 14 and up. But I'm outside. I walk my neighborhood for my job. So I'm interacting all the time with youth, boys and girls. They run in groups now. They just outside. There's nobody controlling the blocks no more. It's free fall. Plenty of times me and some of my my friends, people in my generation, we talk about the lack of or the little small portions that some of these corner people is fighting for now. Let's just use weed because it ain't gonna really get nobody in trouble. It's the lesser of the drug, right? We know that's legal now. So recreational wise, not for you to just come out. Even though it seemed like everybody got bud. Even the corner stores got bud now, right? Anybody can just open up damn near anywhere now. And I've seen it. I talked about it, me and my comrades talking about like, damn, back in the days, niggas just couldn't just come on any given block and just open up. Niggas will pull up, put a car on your block that nobody's using or claiming, and just open up and start selling weed. Niggas will open up, start selling clothes and woo, right? And the gang culture has infused something else into the community or into the equation where when Darnell, right, rest in peace, Rich Porter, younger brother, and I'm only bringing this up to say, in '86 or '87, I was either 9 or 10 or even 11, right, depending on what year it was. When that incident happened to him and his fingers got cut off and they sent him to his mom's and all that, that's all we was talking about as kids. In school, coming home, you know, again, back then, it's adults. And when I say adults, I mean at least 20 and up. You know, they had the block, 22, you don't know people's ages. We was kids, though. There wasn't no kids controlling shit. Wasn't no really kids getting killed. Unless it was a kidnapping, unless it was a ransom, something like that. It wasn't, or an innocent kid going somewhere and adults is handling adult gangster business. Nowadays, it's kids with them switches. They got them 3D printers. They got access to guns. The niggas that got the caves and the sets and all that is young people. So they have control of what's going on. And so you see younger and younger people being killed. In this past 3 months, mad young people got killed. So I don't know where he's from, as far as, you know, what his statistics is using. And maybe being how I knew this was going to be a topic, I probably should have went to the gun archives. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, on my job, we use these a lot. We actually go look at the data, how many murders it was in New York City, how many, people was caught with guns, how many gun violence and stuff like that, people killed, people not killed, from when we got to go to rallies or when we go, to the mayor's office or they have us come down there. You know, you got to have these statistics and be able to show what your program, how it's impacting the community, right? Because this is how the dollars come. So I probably should have did that. I don't know where he's from, but from when I started doing this work, I've been doing this work almost 15 months now. So I'm still new, right? Still got a lot of energy and vigor. I'm not burnt out yet, or I'm not numb to the shit that I'm seeing. But a lot of kids are being killed. And so much to the fact that, speaking of the Alpo situation and the Rich Port and all that, on the channel I oftenly playing, but I'm not being funny at all. The line in the Paid in Full movie, when Kim is talking to Ace, AZ, after he done got shot and his family done got killed, right? Shot in the head, execution style, Allah blessed them to live, right? He like, yo, niggas get shot every day, B. You strong, right? You could take it, right? I said, flip that, take that niggas out and replace it with kids and replace it with babies. And see how it sound when you say, kids get shot every day, B. Babies get killed every day, B. You start to say, oh, this shit don't sound right. You know what I mean? Kid in Queens, shot in broad daylight, the whole crowd standing around him. You know, kids being killed, not innocently in the sense of, a lot of them are gang. So unfortunately that comes with that type of, lifestyle. You live by the gun, you die by the gun, unfortunately. But I can say again, two things to be true. So I can say, yeah, back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, definitely when I was a youth, I could say it was more dangerous out, but not really for kids. I mean, we had our fight, we was fighting and all that. And then, obviously, Boys in the Hood comes out, Menace to Society comes out, New Jack City comes out, Strap comes out. Like, all of these movies, we feeding them a diet of violence and the gangsterism. Well, that's what we got fed too. What Jay-Z said? Scarface the movie did more to Scarface the rapper to me Still ain't to blame that all the shit that happened to me. Are you saying what I'm spitting is worse than these celebritons showing they kitten? You kitten? Let's stop the bullshitting till we all without sin. Let's quit the pulpitting. Let me say that again. Scarface the movie did more than Scarface the rapper to me. Still, that ain't the blame for all the shit that's happened to me. Let's stop the bullshitting till we all without sin. Let's quit the pulpitting. So you can say, basically what he's saying for the slow people is watching that Scarface movie, as I did when we was kids, even though we didn't probably understand all the intricate shit, just the, the spectacle of it all was a little bit more than what a rapper is the Scarface. And Mr. Scarface was walking up the block, pulls out a gun, like that old Scarface shit did more to him than the rapper, right? Two things to be true. The last thing before I beat this topic, is dead already, is look at this. 1994, when I went to prison in May for my first armed robbery. Then in June, they ran down on the lynch mob and they snatched all them niggas up, right? So fortunately, I got caught for a bum-ass robbery. Then instead of getting caught doing shit with them, with some shit I did, right? Got taken off first as a 16-year-old. Go to prison, dumbass. You don't deserve your freedom. You out here wilding, right? You running with the big boys and you a pup. Go sit down for 18 months. I did, and I came home and I went right back. Then I did 10 years, right? Think about that RICO in 1994 in June when they came and got the lynch mob. And you think about the crew, think of Pappy Mason, you think any crew you could think of, right? If you of that age. Now, fast forward in the last 5 years, especially if you in New York City, think about how many mass RICO cases that they went to these projects and snatched all these people up. People meaning alleged criminals, gang members, niggas that's out here with the blickies and all that, giving out orders to kill people. Go run down, kill them niggas, or you fool, you on the menu. Or you get kicked out the whip, you lose the protection. So yeah, people that wear the mask and they ain't robbing nothing either, they could be being scared. I talk to a lot of these young boys that wearing the poo shites. I'm like, yo, it's fucking summertime, bro. And just like that, I don't care if they your kids, that's in my program. The fuck is you wearing this poo shiesty for? It's mad hot out here. Do you feel how humid it is? No, you gotta be sweating in all places like me. Why you got that shit on? Nah, because, the program is over here, but I'm from over there. So yeah, some of them may use it as a shield to be invisible, or it may make them look tough. And what Lloyd Banks said, you think that bandana makes you look gangster, all I see is a handkerchief. Nigga, that's just a handkerchief. It don't make you look gangster to me. But maybe to somebody else in your peer group, you might be tough because you got a handkerchief hanging outside of the back of your pocket. Not to me, because I know better. But all of these takedowns, Brooklyn, what was this? The gang that the hot boy nigga, the female man, that hot boy, the G Stars or the GSs or whatever, right there in St. Nick Project, Stinking Lincoln, right there in Forster. 2013, they just did some shit in Queens. Like, seems like every few months, and when I say few months, maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8 months, that 9-month mark, they rolling around to these projects and they running down on like 30, 20 people at a time. And when I say people, I mean people that's allegedly active in gang shit. That wasn't going on back in the days, even though it was organized gang shit going on, especially on my block. Leon definitely ran it like the mob. Boss, underballs, lieutenant, workers, lookouts, runners, all that. It wasn't just a free fall. And I learned that from watching from my window. And then ultimately outside with them niggas. Ran it like an organization. Now it's organization, I guess, but it's by niggas that can't think past go. You can't read, you can't write. You get embarrassed in the class when the teacher used to make y'all read. Like, so is the violence really down when kids is getting killed at a rapid rate? Guns is being like, people getting caught with guns on a regular basis. I don't know. You know what I mean? More dangerous? That's a different semantic on the word. more violence, shit, kids is out here getting killed left and right because of the gang shit, left and right. So I just thought that was interesting. Maybe next time I swing back on the live, I'll find out where the Eggs and Grits podcast brother is from. Like I said, I like his content. Got a different perspective on things. So, I like to hear not just the regular. Let's bring it to this. Because I told y'all I was going to tie in the topic. How long we been on here? This is going to probably be the last topic. So, this Jennifer Lackard, right? Right there in Yonkers. In Mount Vernon. City council or whatever type of woman she was, allegedly, maybe kind of, sort of, assisted her son after he popped off at the enemy, at the ops, right? And the story is wild and the story is crazy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I do have the clip right here. I believe I have some of the clip. I don't want to see that one. I want to see the one where they're actually talking about it. That's just the music and what's going on. Son, I think it's like 16. He had to go to an court appearance. This is the craziness of it. That's what I was saying. Like, more violence back in the days or more dangerous. It's definitely more crazier violence the way that is taking place now amongst the youth, to me. Even with all of the cameras and shit like that going on. Here you go, right? This is what I wanted to say.
9-year-old Jennifer Lackard, a now former deputy commissioner of public safety for Mount Vernon Police, entering a Bronx criminal courtroom accused of participating in a wild drive-by shooting outside of the very same courthouse. Prosecutors detailing the allegations during the Tuesday afternoon arraignment, telling the court that the June 29th shooting is all captured on surveillance video. Lackard, her husband James, and son Chase are seen leaving their Soundview apartment that morning. Her 20-year-old son is an alleged gang member and had a court appearance for a gun charge that day. But when he arrived, prosecutors say he opened fire outside at rival gang members, accusing Lackard of getting behind the wheel and helping him flee the scene.
Prior to entering to the courthouse, she's in front of this courthouse for a good approximately 5 minutes.
The city of Mount Vernon issuing a statement saying, effective immediately, the city of Mount Vernon has terminated Jennifer Lackard's employment. The allegations are unrelated to her duties and do not stem from any conduct associated with the department. Lackard, appointed Deputy Commissioner of Wellness for the city in 2020 during the George Floyd protest, and has been lauded for her advocacy work with reentry programs, serving 2 terms on Community Board 9 in the Bronx.
Again this afternoon, Jennifer Lackard pleading not guilty to this indictment. Her attorney did not speak after court, but in court says that the picture painted by prosecutors is completely different than her life and her career. Bail was set at $75,000, and she'll be back in court in September. Reporting.
75,000 ain't a lot. Nobody was killed, fortunately. How crazy is that? Deputy Commissioner, your son is in court. That nigga decided to bang it out at the ops, the opposition, the bad guys, according to him, because in these movies, so when I'm being funny when I say that, somebody got to think they the good guys, right? Because I know they don't all think they the bad guys. No, we the good guys, they're the bad guys, so we shoot at them because they're the bad guys, and then vice versa. We're the bad guys, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys, so we shoot at them. And it's like, how crazy is that? I don't know if the father is on the run. I know when the story initially came out, they said the father was on the run. How crazy is that? I know your motherly instincts may say, damn, I was coming to pick you up. You did some goofball crazy shit, so I drive you away. But let me take the burner and then I'm driving you back. Because we can't have, there's cameras everywhere. As soon as when you step out your house, there's eyes in the sky, from your neighbor Ring camera to your building cameras. And I spoke about this as well. I believe it's definitely a big computer mainframe. It may not be like the Dark Knight one where Morgan Freeman was looking at, Bruce Wayne like, I can't do this. And he's like, right, but you just do this one time and when you're done, destroy the shit. It's definitely a mainframe computer, in my belief, my estimation, somewhere that once you come out or you go anywhere, they got you. You know what I mean? When you walk out your crib, you on camera. When I mean your crib, out your building, camera, store that's next to the store, the cleaners, the supermarket, the laundromat, the gas station, all of these places got cameras. So you may find a dark alley or some places that ain't get, cameraed up yet, but they're far and they're few. Most places, they got cameras now. For this very reason, crime happens. Oh shit, that's the deputy mayor right there. That's the deputy. We got you. And to lose it all, right? And I know we just finished watching the Raising Kanan season 5, and I ain't gonna get into no reactions, but I'm bringing it up to say, like, Rocky, right? Doing all this shit allegedly for your son. You know what I mean? And ultimately, he tried to give you the pass, spoiler alert, and let you get up out of there, and then your niece come bang you out just to get back at this nigga. Mama love, what are you thinking? You in the public service now, like you are committed to the community and the betterment of the community. You can't have your son, be involved in some shit like this. That's number one. I mean, I know they said allegedly, but let's just go off the assumption that it's true. Why are you even picking him up? Why he still even living in your house? And I talk about this. I'll tie this into the work that I do, and then I'll get up out of here, right? Because it's really sad. You know what I mean? We all have free will, like I spoke about in the beginning of the show. So we come in 360 now. You never know how your kid's gonna turn out. Whether they're gonna be good, bad, upright, upstanding citizens, productive members of society, piece of shit, a rapist, a killer, a drug dealer, a porn star, OnlyFans, and I know that's a trending topic too, with the lady only got 6 years, for killing the brother. Christian, whatever his name is. You never know how your kid's gonna turn out. Even if you're a good person, your kids could be good like you, or they could be bad, because they got free will. Some of these parents that I encounter when I go to the hospital after violence has taken place, and my job is to try to stop more violence from coming after it already took place. Some of these parents know full well that their kids is with the shits. And some of them don't know. And it's not my job to inform the parent. I'm not there to tell, and I'll use snitch loosely, you know what I mean? That's not my job, right? There's plenty of times, the kids, when I'm talking to adolescents, and I talk to adults and adolescents, but we're talking about adolescents now. PDs is what we call them. Their parent may be in the room, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, they jumped you, or you got cut, or you got shot. Was you in the wrong place at the wrong time? My back is turned. We talking, you was in the wrong place, you was in the wrong time, or you know what I mean? Ooh, ah. Yeah, I was, ooh, or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right. Your mom's know? Nah, she don't know. So I'm not going to tell her. It's not my job to tell her. My job is to try to talk to the kid now and meet him where he's at. Meet her where she's at. Or, all right, so, do you think it's going to possibly be more violence taking place there? Are you thinking about doing something to get back? And, these is the options. These is what you're looking at. You're lucky to be alive. And whatever the case may call for, and every situation is different. Just giving you a little spill of what, violence interrupter, hospital responder. There's some of our, our daily activity and our daily job description. When that call comes from the hospital that somebody is stabbed, beaten, or was shot. But for the ones that do know, I just said that to say some know, some don't know, right? Because kids is slick. Same like with the Muslim sisters. They go out with their hijab on. As soon as they look down, Abu ain't looking, Mama ain't looking. All right, take off their shit, put their skirt on, take their they shit off, and now they got a weave on and they outside like this. Go back home, put that shit on. Hey, Papa, had a great day at school. Ooh, so you being sneaky. So yeah, some parents, they working, they don't know. They working 2 jobs just to get by, to take care of this motherfucker, and they don't know. But I'm talking about the parents that know. Come on, and then when they be crying, and then not to say that they shouldn't have emotion or they shouldn't feel something. Your son is shot, your son is stabbed. Sometimes it's videos of this shit. We watching the video, me and the parents, like, damn, in my head, they whipping out your son, you know what I mean? Or they doing him filthy, right? And they gotta watch that shit, and it's not easy. But you know this what comes with that. So what the fuck are you doing to stop your child from being with this shit? I know you gotta work. I know his father locked up. I know his uncles is on drugs. I know it's nobody that can grab him up. You know what I'm saying? Get over here. Let me sit down. Because you about to go where I was and get on that yakisobe chili con corn line. Is that what you want? 20 now, but 20 years from now, you'll be 40. Who knows how the earth gonna be? Who knows what you'll be coming back to if you even make it back? Because it ain't no guarantees. Only thing guaranteed in this life is death for all of us. Every soul will taste death. That's what the good book says, and that's what I believe. Why would you... Some of them are so nonchalant with it and shit too. Like, yeah, you know, does he be with the shits and he be outside? I be trying to tell him now, mostly, and I'm not trying to talk down on the ladies. Like, where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? But it be the moms. And I get it. Maybe the father's not around. But they be too loose with it. Can you talk to them? Then when, you know, once they start talking to me and they pick up the energy, now it's like they think I'm the daddy now. They think I'm going to be, and I'm not making light. I'm just pointing out some stuff. Because some of these people I stay in contact. I got to get their number. I got to follow up. I try to, again, it's my job to try to save the life, right? To stop more violence from coming after it take place. So some of them I get relationships with them, but they want me to come to their home. They want me to come to the Bronx or, you know, wherever, you know, and keep this relationship going, which I don't mind. This is part of the job. And even if it wasn't part of the job, if I can show somebody from previous mistakes that I made to not make the same mistakes, to save somebody else from getting killed, then I still would do it. I want to get paid, but I still would do it. But you would be surprised how some of them just try to just pass them off to you. Like, all right, like I get it. I know I'm a man. I know I'm standing here in a position of authority because I done been through this and this is my job. And right now, this ain't the best of times for you because this is rough times you're going through. But, you know, a week go by, a month go by. You know, I can't be their father. I can be a mentor and I can try to, you know, walk them through certain, you know, parts of the journey that they may be going through to try to get them through the fall. But some of them be overwhelmed and some of them be so nonchalant. They smoke with their kids. They know their kids is fucking. They know their kids is cutting school and doing certain things. And I'll end with this. We need more programs for parents for this very reason that I'm speaking of. Some of them is overwhelmed and some of them don't know what to do. Some of them don't know about the program I work for, the various other cure violence programs. But we need some type of workshops. We need some type of something that the parents could come to. What do you do when you find your son got a gun in the house? Well, what do? Do you call the police? You know, do you take the gun, throw it away? What if the gun is not his and it was one of his homies and now they're going to whip his ass because that gun is missing and they got a body on it that he didn't know about? He was just the holster. These are the type of conversations. What do? You know, when your daughter is dealing with some, you know, gang member, because he cute and he got a little pull in the neighborhood, all little boys, they listen to him, so he got pulled, she feels safe around him. How do you have that conversation, mommy? We need more workshops on solutions, not just focusing on the problem. And I'll leave it like that. That was other topics, but we've been on here for a little while now, so that's it. But y'all know who it is. This your guy, Popovich. Y'all was just tuned in. Popovich TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic. That feeling back up in here. One more again. Yeah, kid. Y'all be safe out there. Stay up.